Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shagun Oduolo. I am the host of Boston Globe Today. You saw that run before the trailer for The Hustle of @617 Mike Biv. This gentleman sitting to my right, as you know, is the one and only Mike Bivins, New Edition, founder of Bell Biv DeVoe, manager of Boys to Men, Roxbury's own. There you go, there you go. But I am Nigerian, I am Yoruba, and in my culture, you don't sit before royalty because this man is Boston royalty. You do not sit in front of royalty without bringing an offering. Oh, wow. And adding to his list of accolades is now Emmy Award winning Michael Bivins. This is from Nesson. Mike did a performance earlier this year and with Nesson, and so that is now a regional Emmy. We have a lot to get into, and so I don't want to take up too much time bearing gifts from Mike because Mike himself is the gift. Right. And first, Mike, thank you for being here, but let's talk beyond the beats.
I'm having a moment.
You having a moment? You having a moment? I did my job, I got you to cry, I went full Barbara Walters.
This is for Bell Biv DeVoe, a documentary we did with Nesson, and the backdrop was Fenway Park. And I had the pleasure of being an executive producer, so I guess we won the New England Sports Network Emmy. And believe it or not, this is a beautiful thing because it's from home. So thank you, man.
Thank you. I'm honored to be able to give it to you. And let's start with where you just finished, home. This is where you got your start for all of the incredible things that you've been able to accomplish. How did you do it? Because in Roxbury, where you grew up, was there a blueprint for you to follow, someone you saw doing it that you said, I'm gonna do it this way, or did you carve your own path?
Man, there's a lot of stuff you could do coming out of Roxbury. You could pick your poison, whatever. Let's just keep it real. It's a beautiful city. Orchard Park Projects was home. Like, we call it Orchard Park Projects. People call it that, but to us, it's home. You don't even realize you're living in those projects because it's just a part of who you are. It's when you have visitors that be like, oh, can I come through at night? Yeah, come on through, you're all right. And I think for me, of course, I was attracted to basketball players. That was who I wanted to be. And a lot of my idols and influences was more on the sports side. But Bobby and Ricky, talented singers and artists, they were into the talent show side. So we were able to form a group in '78 with Corey and Travis that created New Edition. And it didn't go too far, but it was great, And then Ricky turned us on to the legendary Ralph Tresvant. And we started just tearing up the talent shows, man, Them talent shows was like TV shows, because the same girl we would see in the hallway, oh, I'm on my way to the talent show, she'd be in the front row, screaming. So it was interesting looking at your neighbor be excited for you. And that was it, man. Those were the choices. It was either I was going to get out doing sports or we got out, fortunately, doing music.
You got out doing music that has spanned the globe, and the recognition Boston often doesn't get, right? Like, everybody will talk about LA or they talk about New York, and too often Boston doesn't get the love that it deserves. Do you feel when you talk about the Puffs and the Jay and all of these music moguls, it was you? You started this. You started a group and managing and bringing people to the limelight. Do you feel that just like your city, you don't get the recognition that you deserve?
Nah, I don't. I don't think about it. I think, Jay's in the doc, Puff's in the doc. I think that, 14 years old, 1983, celebrating our 40th anniversary, y'all. New Edition. I think that everybody gets the card they're supposed to get, if their thing was hip hop and what they accomplished. I think my thing, I think I've been all right. I've been all right, and I think, when you don't look for it, it finds you. It's just another way to accept it and to live with it. And I think when I see them, my friends, I could feel it. I could feel their eyes on the blueprint, and thank you for what you did for the culture. But I've never had to sit on the interview and kind of hit my chest and say, yo, what about me? Because me is still moving now. I think me is when you stop, but I think I've been doing pretty good for 40 years. To say from 83 to 23, to have a #1 docu-film, I mean, that's a lot. To be on tour with New Edition, back to back, 80 plus cities, selling out shows. I don't think I gotta say nothing, man. I think all I gotta do is just keep my mind right and show up to stuff like this. Like, that's a stage, but this is a stage too. You know what I mean? This is a room full of people, you know, come in here, maybe want to hear something, do something, we connecting. This how you get to 50 years. So now don't worry about it. And salute to them, can't forget Jermaine, can't forget Dre. But I'm gonna tell you something when they don't mention is my man KG from Naughty by Nature. Don't forget about what KG does, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta talk about Teddy Riley. So there's a lot of what about thems. So when I talk, I try to recognize the what about thems before I actually talk about myself.
Now, you said there's more, right? That you keep going, you don't have time to kind of be introspective and look back. So what is the more? Because you producing, you're directing, you've got a soundtrack to the #1 documentary. It's about to start being aired everywhere on streaming services, on
Right.
on We
October 5th.
on October 5th. You'll be
Right.
able to see it on We. So what's the more for Mike? Like, again, take me beyond the beats.
I mean, you know, I like to keep touching and hugging and kissing the babies. I mean, we have a park here in the city on Washington Street. You know, the basketball court, that stays popping every year. We're in touch with every community center. And we do all of the day camps and the field trips and all of the amusement park stuff. I think more is kind of just listening to what the people feel is missing. And sometimes it's just a voice. And sometimes it's just an event. Like sometimes you could put on a concert and it'd be like, Hail the City. This one's for the city. This one's for the community. I think more is just keeping the pulse on what we're lacking in going to City Hall and just trying to implement it. You know, instead of keeping it so musical and just keep it like the cry of the city. Because to me, in my crew, you know, it seems like once a month, every 2 months, we going to a funeral. Could be a young girl, older girl. We just buried a young lady whose daughter was in one of our videos. So it hurts from different levels. So more to me is just, you know, filling the void and being the voice for those who can't be heard.
I'm gonna do something that I never do to musicians. I'm gonna say, if you tuck your chain, because I think it's rubbing against the microphone. I hate to have you tuck your chain. Okay.
That was easy.
Now, there's the more that you're doing, but as a son of Boston, son of Roxbury, is there more that the city can be doing, partnering with you? Because you've got a heart and a reach that's extensive. Is there more that the city can be doing with you, and should they be doing more with you?
Well, they've done it. I mean, that public park was a $2 million job, you know, and that was done with Mayor Marty Walsh. And as a matter of fact, I just had a call with Mayor Michelle Wu last week, and there's a few things we're gonna do before the year is out. That's gonna, you know, the first one's gonna start around Thanksgiving, then it's gonna roll into Christmas, and then we're gonna put a 2024 calendar. So I think they're listening, you know, because they wanna help too. It's on their watch. Everybody needs a foot soldier, someone to spread the message, to touch the people, be in the streets, and, you know, do the things that they're not gonna do daily. So,
They're gonna just turn that one off. This one's for you.
it's like in concert.
Oh,
Just get a new
now you
microphone.
feel more comfortable now.
So I think that's the goal for 2024 to find out what that more is. And in terms of me, you know, I like this film game right now. I like the art of storytelling. You know, being able to take a story and put some arcs in there, have a nice beginning, the middle, and a crescendo that takes it home with the music. That's my more in my personal. But in terms of Boston, you know, we're trying to figure it out. I'm just now locking in with her to see where she is so she could see where I'm at and see what we could do.
What does it take to be Mike Bivins, to sit here, right? We talked about the blueprint. We talked about, some of the people that you met along the way. Talked about the importance of basketball, how you wanted to be a hooper to begin with. But to get where you are now, who did you have to be for that young person in Roxbury, that young person that looks up at Mike Bivins or plays in that $2 million park? What do they need to have that you had to sit here?
Wow. Well, I had my basketball coaches, Terry Walker and Chiz DeLoach, and of course Clyde Pritchett, Marvin McIntyre. They were, like the ones helping me, the James Griffins and the Leroys from Orchard Park. Like, it's the influence of the older people who take the time out to say, nah, don't do this, nah, don't do that. Fortunately, I had that. And I just think a kid today, the more things we could put together, the more they can hear a message. Tony Richards has the No Books, No Ball down there. And there's over 500 kids down there. So it's happening. It's just, new voices, new people. And, times is different. Like, I'm sure when we was, man, I ain't gonna say it like that. I'm sure back in the day, right? When we would ride by the park, it'd be packed with just people playing pickup ball. Now you might only have 2 or 3 people playing ball because everybody's on their phone. But back then, the action was outside. It seemed like now the action is indoors. Mm-hmm. So if we could get them back outside in a safe environment, we could find out who that is. Who's going to be the next.
So I have to ask, this massive trophy that's on stage, I know basketball is a big part of what you do and who you are. What is the significance of this trophy?
It's 2. Is the other one in the building? Trav, we got the other one. This, thank you too, Sagan. Honestly, what this is my way of saying thank you. Maybe I need the second one, if you could bring that out. Maybe back in August when we had our sit down at the Vineyard, right? That was my birthday. But it was 2 weeks before the documentary premiered on August 24th. And I did like 4 or 5 powerful moments that I put together along with, Troy Brown, who did it with you guys, that we put together to kind of get the word out, like, yo, watch this. And it went #1. So for me, I had them done in New York. I drove them up today. But that right there is for you and your crew.
What?
Yeah, that says the Boston Globe on that, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
You go get yours.
Oh, my.
That's yours.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's about your height, too, player. You get that.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You can read what it says for going #1. And not only that, in this city, I did an interview a couple of years ago to promote the basketball tournament that we did with Anthem at, over at Puma. And it was a station that always takes my call, the 96.9 morning show. Even if I got a message, I could call them while they on the air. Yo, let me get on there. Like, whatever, Mike. And we filmed it. And I actually put it in the doc. So, Lee, that's y'all's trophy, man. Hot 96.9, baby.
Wow, look at this. We're turning this into a family affair. But what else would you expect from one of Boston's favorite sons?
Man, make sure y'all keep that in the studio too, player. We need to see that when y'all do interviews. There you go. Leaning in the car, laying right. I did it, man. No elbows either.
So your heart, Mike, you're a giver. You've created stars. You've been a star. Where do you get this energy, this love? Who taught it to you? Is it something that just you were born with, or family? Where does it come from?
Man, I had a beautiful mom, raised me and my sister. My mom, I watched my mom have like 3 or 4 jobs. She did a post office, she did the school bus monitoring, and then she did a special job. I didn't understand what it was, but one day I went with her, and she said, come on, you gotta go with me. So we went out to, I think, Cambridge, and caught the bus. We didn't have no car. She's not a driver. And I noticed it was an older lady, elderly, you know what I mean? She got her out the bed, took her to the bathroom, guess what's called homemaker. So I'm looking, I'm bugging out, it's my mom. I don't know this lady. Then she made her some corn and everything that the lady liked. And I realized that was another job. And I said, damn, she does what she has to do to take care of us. So we still living in the projects. So when the new edition came and we were making our money, the one thing about my mom is she never asked for my money. She just said, I'm going to still keep a job just in case you don't make no money. And we still got to eat, right? And that resilience and that type of humility never left me. And then one time, big bro Terry Walker was working for Dave Cowens, the Boston Celtics, and he was doing the Dave Cowens basketball camp. And I think it was in Waltham or Wakefield, one of the two of the suburbs. And it cost $175. So to us, that's like 3 or 4 stacks right now.
Right.
So I was like, Ma, I want to go to the camp. She said, I don't got no $175. And I said, damn, I can't go. She took a 4th job, all right? And she got that 175. So I was able to pay just to go up there for a week. So it's instructional basketball, not too much money. Because if you're not good, you're not going to be good when you come back. You only got 5 days to be good, right? So to me, I thought I was pretty good. So I said, when I got up there, I asked Big Bro, we driving in his car. I'm like, yo, what you get when you come back home? He said, man, they got like a 3-on-3 tournament, and then you could win an individual award, most points, most assists, the good sportsmanship, like a little side thing. I said, all right. So I'm like 12, money. I went to work. It was 300 kids sitting on the ground. I'm playing with 2 other players against 3 other players, and I got that 3-on-3 trophy. And because of that, I was good with passing, so I had the most assists. So when I walked back through the door, 5 days later, I said, Ma, here's your 175. And I dropped those 2 trophies on her 8-track. And to me, that was my way of saying thank you. So it's like today, it's full circle. Dropping the 2 trophies on the table.
Man,
saying thank you.
We appreciate that. I could talk to you all day. I learn something every time I'm fortunate enough to sit with you. In the brief time that we have left, the hustle of at 617 Mike Biv, this incredible documentary about your life. People are going to get a chance to see the documentary, but what's the hustle to you? Like, what does that mean, the hustle? Like, what is your hustle? What's the hustle that took you from Roxbury to stages all around the world, to recognizing talent, to being talent? What's the hustle of Mike Biv?
Well, to be honest with all of you and the ones streaming, all of my wins were unwanted. Like Boys to Men, they didn't really want to sign them. BBD, or what are they gonna do? ABC, well, they're not really a singing group. So I realized that in everything that became successful in my life, it was because I had to show someone how special it was. So with the doc, right, I said to myself, if I go to a streaming platform, right, and be like, yo, give me, give me 500, give me 4, give me 3, 2, I want to go do a story on me. Oh, well, where's Ricky? Well, where's Bobby? Like, where's something else? Because I was more of a CEO, not so much of my story was out in the public. I just felt like they wouldn't have understood. I don't want to just tell a musical story. I want to tell a sports and music story and lean a little bit into what I love. So instead of hearing that no, I just invested in myself. So I took my money, right? Yes. I took my money and I paid for my doc. And then I thought about, well, who can I get to direct? And I'm like, okay, well, director costs just as much as a doc. So I said, well, I'm going to save that money too. So I just directed it myself. And the golden thing was, what I'm calling hustlers, I had a lot of footage that is not on YouTube that I just been saving for years, which made it special when people watched it. So to me, a hustle is, of course, we know $1 out of 15 cents will always be the golden rule, but to just to bet on yourself, and it's okay if someone say no. But how do you feel about that no? Your no needs to be, yes, I will. Yes, I can. Yes, I am. And that's just kind of been my attitude. Like, I'm not going to let someone knock my dream. And I'm going to do whatever I got to do by any means necessary to make it come true. And now because of that, we went #1. And now because of that, All Black is making their return. And because of that, October 5th, we're going to be on WeTV, which will be the first time I get to sit back and see something dear to me on the cable network, something I would have never thought of as a kid. But now I get to celebrate with my kids and my family and to say, hey, there goes our legacy right there for the world to see. And we're going into it #1. So that's what Hustle is to me.
I love it. I love it. Not sitting still, turning those no's into next opportunity. If I drop a little bit of game, I can't take credit for that, but no's just mean next opportunity. My name is Shagun Oduolo. I'm the host of Boston Globe Today. We air 5 days a week at 5 o'clock on Nesson, and I have been privileged, as you have, to be sitting with Roxbury's very own Mike Bivins. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the hustle.
Man, thank y'all.